Hey guys, welcome back to Jessin Reads Romance. I'm Jessin and today I'm here with my March TBR and I'm really excited because this month is the Kindle Clear OUt Readathon. I will not be listing my TBR for this readathon yet because there's still a couple books that I have to grab for the prompts, but I will be making a separate TBR video for that. So just letting you guys know, I'll link my video announcing the readathon down below and you can go check out all of the prompts and make your own bingo board. I'm really excited about it. So none of those will be included on here. So these are just additional books. I'm so excited to be reviewing these books with Juliet. The first one that we have up is A Kingdom of Dreams by Judith Vicount. This was the first book by Judith Vicount that I read, and it depends on who you consult, Amazon or Goodreads, whether or not it's labeled the first in the Westmoreland series or the second book in the Westmoreland series. It is the only medieval book in this series though, and it was written after Whitney, My Love. But timeline-wise, since it is medieval and the rest of the series is like Regency, you could read it. It's a standalone. You could read it as a standalone. It's good. I really enjoyed it a lot. The heroine, Jennifer, is very like headstrong. She's a young heroine. She's 17 and she has been in a nunnery for about 2 years. She's in hiding. Her father is a very prominent Scottish lord and the Scots and the English are at war with each other. One day she's with her sister Brenna. They're dressed in nuns' habits and they get captured and they get taken to this English warlord's camp, and his name is like notorious. Everyone calls him the Wolf. His name is Royce. This is an enemies to lovers romance and I can't wait to talk about it with Juliet. The second book that we have for March is Radiance by Grace Draven. I recently read this book for Pharaoh Feb and I really enjoyed it. Now, Juliet has been trying to get me to read this book forever. She's already read it, but she hasn't read it in like 2 years or maybe even more than that. It's a fantasy romance and there's a human race and there's also kind of like a fae race. And there's an arranged marriage between these two races. And both of our hero and heroine, Ildiko and I don't know how you say her name, Ildiko and Brishan, have an arranged marriage and they haven't met each other before. They have this meeting before they get married. They don't even know that the person that they're talking to is their betrothed. And they have kind of a frank conversation. And Ildiko's kind of like asking, well, you know, the prince think that I'm really ugly. And he's like, yeah, all humans are ugly though. They don't like the whites of humans' eyes because it reminds them of like a scared horse, because you only see the whites of horses' eyes whenever they're like scared. And so Brishan has like dark gray skin and he has claws and he has just black as night eyes. And I've said this multiple times, his illustration on the cover does not turn me off. So Ildiko's kind of like, yeah, you're really scary. And I'm just like, I think he's hot, girl. So just putting it out there once again. This is a slow burn romance and it's really sweet and it's setting up this series. I haven't read the second one yet, but the events at the end of this book are really exciting, so I can't wait to read more in the series. The next book, and probably my favorite podcast pick for this month, is Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley. I recently picked up the Kimora Chronicles at the recommendation of Jen from the Book Refuge, and boy did I really enjoy it. Juliet also read these, and this was also her favorite book in the series, so I can't wait to talk about it. It is a mafia romance, and mafia has not in the past been one of my favorite romance subgenres, and so these books kind of, I don't know if my tastes are changing or if these books just came along at the right time and they just had characters that I really connected with, but I'm very into mafia right now, which is something that I never thought I'd say, but I am, and it's because of these books. So Nino is our hero. He is the brother of like the head of the Kimora mafia crime family. They're based in Las Vegas, and there's an arranged marriage between the Kimora and also the Familia from New York. Kiara is our heroine, and she has been abused, and she's very nervous because she knows that she really can't say no to this marriage, but she's worried about the wedding night, about what Nino's gonna think, because in this world, virginity is prized and she's no longer a virgin, even though she was assaulted, and she was assaulted by a family member, and she's extremely traumatized. Funnily enough, this was the book that Jen told me about that convinced me to read Cora Riley, period. The scene that she describes was the wedding night after they got married, and Nino's reaction is just perfection. I love him. I love their relationship. He's exactly what she needs, and it's beautiful. I cannot wait to chat about this. I'm going to gush the whole time, so I'm apologizing in advance. And lastly, we have The Viscount and the Vixen by Lorraine Heath. This is the last book in her Hellions of Havisham series. It can be read as a standalone because they're just kind of like all friends, and I really love this one. Out of all of them, I really love The Earl Takes All. That one was like amazing as well. Would I put one above the other? Probably not. I like them both kind of equally, but I just really enjoyed the premise, and I feel like some people just would not jive with the premise for The Earl Takes All, because that's like in love with my dead brother's widow, but I'm pretending to be him. That's The Earl Takes All. So I decided to do The Viscount and the Vixen instead because it's a little bit more palatable. The hero's father is known as like the Mad Marquess, and he has put out an ad for a second wife, which is surprising because throughout the whole series, he has been pining after his wife. His whole house is just like decayed, full of dust, very neglectful. They have minimal staff, like a cook and a butler, and he claims that he sees his wife's dead ghost. And so it's very, disturbing that his father is searching for a new bride. The heroine arrives, answers the advertisement, and she's like, okay, I'm here to marry him. Lucian's like, no, you're not. Definitely not. I loved it. It was amazing. Again, it's so good. Now, I thought I was doing so good in 2021 about ARCs. I was reading them more ahead of time than I would normally do, but somehow Much Ado About You got like pushed to the wayside, and it just like was not on my list of arcs to read. So the release day came and I was like, I have that arc and I have not read it yet. So I feel so bad about that. I never do that. I don't do that. So I will be reading Much Ado About You by Samantha Young. I did purchase the ebook because I never read an arc after release day and don't review it. So I purchased the ebook without buying it. Actually, something to know, if I like an arc that I read, I'll buy the ebook or the physical copy of that book anyway. For example, I had an arc of Chasing Cassandra. I ended up by buying the ebook, and I bought a paperback copy as well. So I usually do that for the books that I like. The only ones that I don't purchase, the arcs that I don't purchase, are ones that I don't like. So anyway, Much Ado About You. I'm really excited about this one. The premise excites me. The heroine, Evie Starling, she is 33 years old, 32, 33. She's in her 30s, and she's not having very much luck with dating. She's had it up to here with her job. She's in publishing. She's expecting to get this editing position, and she doesn't. So she just kind of like throws her hands up and just like, I'm going to take charge of my life. I quit my job. I'm so done with all the Tinder right swiping, because she thought she had a connection with this guy on one of the dating apps, and he stood her up. So she's just like, I'm going to take an extended vacation. I'm renting out this apartment that's on top of this cutesy little bookshop in England. I think it's like North England, on the border between England and Scotland. And so she's gonna spend 4 weeks living there, but also helping to run the bookstore. And she like loves books and stuff. And then she meets a local farmer, I believe, whose name's Roan, which is funny because that's my brother's name. And of course she's sworn off men, but then she meets him and he's super hot, and I just think that it's going to be a really cute romance. So I can't wait to read this one. Then I have Scoundrel of My Heart by Lorraine Heath. This is the start of a new series. I think it's Once Upon a Dukedom. The heroine needs to marry a wealthy, entitled gentleman in order to receive her inheritance. So she cannot be marrying somebody who doesn't have a title or doesn't have any money. Unfortunately for her, she's in love with somebody who is a second son, and she can't have him, and there's some talk of a betrayal, like a past betrayal, but she has this duke set in her sights, but like stuff is gonna go awry. So I can't wait to see what this is all about. This is going to be out on March 30th, so I'll be reading that one very, very soon so that I can get back to you guys. I was checking out my Airtable to see what the next arc was, and it's The Intimacy Experiment, which is out on April 6th. But I've already read this book. So it was a part of my March TBR, but I've already read this book like this past week, and I have yet to do a review of that yet, but I will be getting to that very, very soon. And I'll just let you guys know right now. So I didn't like The Roommate. I gave that one 3 stars. It just didn't jive with me. I didn't really like the characters, but I was willing to give it another go with the intimacy experiment because the heroine is Naomi, and I really liked her character in the first book. So she is a former porn star, and now she's in business with Josh and Claire, and this romance is between Naomi and Ethan, who is a rabbi. And Naomi comes from a Jewish family. She's not practicing right now, but this romance was so amazing. I don't want to hype it up too much because I hate whenever people hype up books too much, but this book is going on my list of my favorites for 2021. I'll let you know. And Naomi and Ethan as a couple are going on my favorite couples of 2021. And Ethan is probably making a book boyfriend list. So I'll leave it there. Then I have a couple of book club picks. I'm really excited about this month's book club picks for both the Rake Appreciation Society and also the Historical Hellions, because both of these books have been on my radar. I just haven't quite gotten to them. The first one for the Rake Appreciation Society, which is hosted by Crystal and Jennifer, is Stranger in My Arms by Lisa Kleypas. I have a copy of this book. I have not read this book yet. This is one of the few books in her backlist that I haven't read. It's mostly like her older romances that I haven't read yet, but now I'm going to remedy that. And I think it's a standalone, one of her only standalones. So that's going to be really fun. The live show is happening pretty soon. I can't remember what the date. I want to say like the 13th or so. I'm going to pop it up right here because don't trust me. Pop it right here. That's the correct date. So I'll be reading this one soon as well. And for the Historical Hellions book club, it's Once and Always by Judith McNaught. I think it's the first book in her sequels series. I think the series is called Sequels. I don't know if it's actually sequels to other books. It's weird. The series in Judith McNaught's backlist is weird for like a newbie reader. I would say as a newbie reader who's only read 2 other books by Judith McNaught. I just don't, no idea if it's connected to something else, but I didn't read the blurb for this. I'm going in completely blind. The only thing that I do know is that the heroine is American and the hero is English, I believe. So I'm excited to give her another shot. Like I said, I really like A Kingdom of Dreams. Did not really enjoy Whitney, My Love, so this will be 3rd time's the charm. Then I'm really excited about this new release by Sam Mariano. As you guys may know, I really loved Untouchable, which is an extremely dark romance that is not for everybody, like at all. And The Boy in the Bridge is coming out in March, and I can't wait. This cover. I don't know what else to say about it because it's freaking gorgeous. This man is staring into my soul. So I'm assuming that this is going to be another dark romance. Her synopsis really don't give too much away. It's just told through the heroine's point of view. She's talking about this boy that she knew, Hunter Maxwell, and that he was like really rich or something, and then he was hurting, and maybe he turns into a bully, and then he's out to destroy her. So bully romance, dark romance. I'm here for it. Cannot wait to read it. When does it come out? It comes out on March 4th. Very soon. Oh my god, I'm gonna be reading this very soon. I'm so excited. Then I have Thy Kingdom Come by Monica James. I bought this book for the cover. It really intrigues me. I want to know what it's about. I've never read a Monica James before, so this will be my first. I think I own Bullseye as well, and I just never got to that one, but oh man, I'm a sucker for these covers. These covers are just giving me life, doing it for me. I'm more attracted this year to hot dudes on a cover. Last year, I was still really loving the brighter, more illustrated covers. I still do like them. Just my buying habits are just gravitating towards this. So anyway, I bought this book, and I think it's like an Irish mob, possibly a second chance romance. And the hero's name's Punky, I believe. I think his real name's Puck. I don't know. So this will be my first Monica James. We'll see how it all works out. You guys know I'm really into the mafia romance right now. And then finally, Entangled sent me this lovely book, The Spinster and the Rake by Eva Devon. I've never read an Eva Devon before, so I'm really excited to start. And I really love the red covers. I think it's actually it's a very similar red dress to the Wicked Marquess by Stacey Reed, but I'm living for it. I love this cover. It's sensual. It's beautiful. I love it. So let's see. It says, Edward Stanhope, the icy Duke of Thornfield, likes his life in a certain order. Why do I like men with Thorn in their surname? Thornton from North and South. Love it. Give him a strong drink, a good book, and his dog for company, and he's content. Same. But when he goes to the library and finds a woman sitting in his chair petting his dog, what starts as a polite request for her to vacate quickly turns to a fiery battle of wits, leading to a steamy kiss that could ruin them both if they were caught. So of course, damn it all, that's when Edward's aunt walks in and therefore announces Miss Georgina Bly is the future Duchess of Thornfield. Georgina was content to be a spinster, spending her days reading and working to keep her family out of debt. But now her days are spent locked away with the growly Duke learning how to be a perfect Duchess, and her nights spent fighting the undeniable attraction to a man who is never meant for her. As her wedding day approaches, the attraction between them burns hot and fierce, but is it enough to melt the Duke's chilly facade? I like this. We have a grumpy hero. I'm here for it. I'm excited. Okay, so these are all the books that I'm putting on my March TBR. Oh no, I almost forgot. Last month I did not do a historical romance pick from my collection that I've been collecting from eBay. So I'm gonna do that right now, okay? We're gonna do, that is the wrong wheel. Okay, let's go. How to Marry a Marquis by Julia Quinn. Do you guys say Marquis and Marquess differently if it's written differently? Because I know that sometimes it's written M-A-R-Q-U-E-S-S, and I think that that's the English spelling. But whenever I see M-A-R-Q-I-S, I do Marquis because it's French. So I don't know. Is it just me? Sometimes I look at Marquess and I'm like, Marquis, I don't know. It's hard to, this is my least favorite peerage title to pronounce. But anyway, I'm excited about this one. It's an old school historical Julia Quinn that I have not read yet. So that is all the books that I will be reading for March. I'm really excited about that. I will be doing a separate video, like I said, for the Kindle Clear OUT Readathon. And we'll see how many books I can keep up with this month. I have been not reading as much because of school, but I have a lot of audiobooks that I think that I'm going to use for the Kindle Clear OUT Readathon. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to get notified on any future videos that I do. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, life's better with a little HEA. Bye, guys.